Okay, so we need to talk about why hunter-gatherers needed these adaptations and how it improved life for early humans. So in Standard Quiz 3, I'm going to be asking you to list both the problems and how it solved them, so the solution. First adaptation we're going to talk about is fire. The reason that people needed fire was partly because the climate was getting colder. As the weather from the Ice Age started changing, fire helped them stay warm. Second reason, humans began encountering larger animals and didn't have a way to protect them. Fire allowed humans to protect themselves against these large animals. Third reason that fire was an adaptation for early humans was that eating raw food is difficult to digest. Having fire allowed them to digest the food easier and it tasted better. Second adaptation we're going to talk about is migration. We talked a little bit earlier about overpopulation. As parts of northern Africa got more crowded, there weren't enough resources to support that growing population. Another reason that migration was an adaptation was environmental. As Africa began turning into a desert and the Ice Age started changing the northern hemisphere, people needed to move in order to survive. Third reason migration is an adaptation has to do with language and communication. The fact that people were developing language and advancing their technology allowed them to collaborate with each other and made this migration easier. The third thing you need to talk about is the tools. I'm going to be asking you to list at least 3 tools that early hunter-gatherers made and tell me how they used them. So first one you can talk about is a bone needle. You could talk about spears. You could talk about stone axes. People used bone needles to sew clothing, nets, and make covers for huts from animal hides. They hunted with the spears, and they used stone axes to cut down wood to make spears and other tools. The last adaptation you need to talk about is housing. I'm asking you to compare and contrast cave shelters with mammoth bone huts. You need to tell me some of the challenges of cave shelters and tell me why mammoth bone huts were a better solution for foragers. So some of the challenges of cave shelters were that it cannot be moved. You can't move a cave. Once it's there, it's there. They're not always near water or other resources, and they're always cold, both because the inside of the cave is a constant temperature, but also because you can't put fire inside a cave very far, or you could suffocate. Mammoth bone huts have the benefit of being able to be near resources. When you build it, you get to choose the location. So you choose to put it near water, near places where you can easily get food. Mammoth bone huts can be moved and rebuilt if necessary. These are still nomadic people. They do not have permanent settlements. Moving and rebuilding their home is a benefit because they don't have to take the time to find or hope that they'll find a cave. Finally, a mammoth bone hut can be built to funnel smoke out so you can have a fire to keep warm. This is a huge benefit in the northern climate where it's cold. So, you have 4 adaptations. You need to be able to tell me 3 things about each one, both the problem and the benefit.